Welcome to Old Horse Racing All the Time. I'm your host, Al. On this show, this is a show where we give horse racing. I'm here on this show. I do the show to give you winning horse racing picks. And that's the bottom line of this show. I have a little bit of an announcement to make tonight. Bit of a change of plans moving forward. Let me just make sure this thing is. Okay, I can shut this down. It's not a regular show. It's a Tuesday night, January 17th, 2023. Okay. Okay, can close this. No, I'm not drinking coffee right now. We're having some water. Pace. How's it going, Pace? No racing right now tonight. Where is this racing? The alleys look. I have FanDuel TV on, and I see they're racing at night somewhere. I'm not sure where the heck this is. Tomorrow, Pace. Tomorrow, I'm going to be at Parx again instead of Gulfstream. I guess the plan is to go to Gulfstream on Thursday, as it looks right now. Pace, how's it going tonight? I looked over some of the cards. And Parx has the bigger card, 11 races. We're getting a feel for that the last few days. And Gulfstream only has 9 races, and they have the races on the. Yeah, I looked at the cards, and between Parx and Gulfstream, I decided to stay at Parx. I think we have a better chance of producing some winners there. You might as well ride it another day. They have again. Parx is coming up with a tremendous 11 race card with some large fields and some good looking opportunities there. From what I've briefly seen so far, as opposed to Gulfstream, they have some small fields in the earlier races. And then they have those races with the Tapeta surface. And you're at three different surfaces at Parx. You got the Tapeta, the dirt, and the turf. And they've been playing so. The results have been so mind-boggling. Head-scratching finishes, and that's not what it's all about. I play the races to try and win some money. I don't want to be gambling. I'd rather take as much of the guesswork out of it. I have a good feel for Parx. Don't get me wrong. I have a pretty good Gulfstream I've had success at too. But Parx, with the big fields and being familiar with the participants, most of the horses that are racing at Parx have raced there before, big field or not. And it's easier to have a better handle on the race. Who's here? Hello, sir. Like your commentary. Been watching a while. Hey, Sunji, how's it going? Good to see you. Welcome. I'm glad you enjoy the show. So I'm just going to bring this up a second. I haven't downloaded the PPs yet for Parx, but I'm going to do that first. Before I do that, I want to check. No coffee. We're having some ice water here. The coffee, the last cup I had on the show. What track do you like, Sungi? Where are you? We're over here in New York. And awesome. Oh, I'm glad you Pace, awesome. I think that's a good idea. Okay. Well, at least one of you is on the same page. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're not the only one. There's a lot of people don't like playing those Tapeta races. So they can be kind of tricky. And I hate to accuse, any foul play at the track, but some of those races have been out of this world. Let me just see if they have Parx Racing. I just want to see the DRF, who they have scheduled, what's on schedule. I know they have no racing tonight on dirt. I don't know why. I guess maybe the holiday yesterday. Entries. Tomorrow? Yeah, Parx. Absolutely. What about Thursday? Okay, yeah, then Thursday we'll go back. Thursday we'll go back to Gulfstream. The weather at Aqueduct on Thursday. Let me just see. You see, now Thursday, I don't want to do an Aqueduct card. The talent level is low. I'm looking at the field sizes. Race 1, they only have 8 races. They only have 8 races at Aqueduct on Thursday, and I said I didn't want to be there. I'm looking at the jockeys that are racing. In the first race, they have Dylan Davis and Jackie Davis, the brother and sister team, in the same race, jockeys on the 2 and the 3 and on Thursday. But 7 entries in race 1. Now I'm talking Aqueduct Thursday. 7 entries in race 1. Race 2, they only have 5 horses. Are you kidding me? And one of them is a 3 to 5 shot. Race 3, they have 8. Race 4, they have 8. Race 5, they have 8. I mean, Gulfstream is going to definitely be better than Aqueduct. I don't like Aqueduct in the winter. Race 6, they have 8. And I do like the turf racing. And race 7, they have 9. And race 8, they have 8. Okay, so Aqueduct on Thursday has some small fields, and they only have 8 races. And again, tomorrow at Parx, we have 11 races. We have nice big fields. We don't have to mess around with anything. Most of the entries have raced at Parx before, so we're not guessing around. At Gulfstream, we have horses coming in from all over the country. And there's only 9 races at Gulfstream tomorrow. And they've been playing so unpredictably there. I'm going to stay right at Parx, at least for another day. And that might be the pattern going forward. Parx Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when I do shows, and Gulfstream the other days, Thursday through Sunday, unless they're having a really big card at one of the other tracks. So we're going to be back at Parx tomorrow. I know on the show today I said I was talking about Gulfstream tomorrow, but Thursday there's Parx. Thursday there's Aqueduct is nothing. Let's take a look at Thursday's Gulfstream card real quick while we're over here. They have they only have 9 races there on Thursday too. But they have 9 entries in the first race, and that is on dirt. In the second race, they're on the poly track, and they have 8 entries. Third race, they're on poly track again. They have 9 entries. See. Fourth race, they're on turf. They have 8 entries. Even that's not the greatest card. But fifth race, they're on the poly track. 13 entries. Well, 12. One is an alternate entry. Race 6, they're on turf. They got 11 entries. Okay, see, Thursday has a good Gulfstream card. Race 7, they're on dirt, 8 entries. Race 8, they're on turf. They have 10 entries with 2 alternate entries. And the finale, they have 9 entries, and that's back on the dirt. So I really like the Parx card tomorrow. So we're going to be there, and we'll be back out at the same bat time, same bat channel, 11:30 a.m. I haven't scheduled it yet, but this decision came not too long, probably within the 45 minutes after today's Parx show ended. I was like, wow, I'm kind of sad to see Parx go. You had all these horses in there, all these entries, and you've got the Jamie Ness factor. I'm starting to really get a feel for the Parx, for how the track is playing and how the trainers are playing and the jockeys that are hot and cold. Since I've been doing the shows again, since I picked up and covering Parx on a regular basis, I'm really getting a feel for it. And Gulfstream, it's kind of a learning curve. It's a little different with the Tapeta, and I don't like all that with the Tapeta, where you got the Woodbine horses coming there, and how are they going to perform at Gulfstream on their poly track? There has to be some kind of a difference. I'll have to look that up to see the poly track in Gulfstream, the new poly track at Gulfstream compared to the poly track at Woodbine. And I really don't like the fact that some of the horses that run on the Tapeta have only run on the turf. I know they play similar, the turf and Tapeta. They say the turf horses can go back and forth between the two, but there has to be some kind of a difference. Oh, sir, what do you got here? Me, Likey, Santa Anita, Gulfstream Park, Oaklawn. Ah, okay, Santa Anita. Santa Anita is a fun track. Gulfstream, I like Gulfstream too. I kind of wish they didn't put the poly track there. And Parx, Oaklawn. I did an Oaklawn show once. I noticed a lot of people didn't really play Oaklawn or didn't seem too interested in it. Laurel has its days. Now, I played all of these tracks before, and I played all of them in the past extensively. I'd be playing them all while they were running. While Laurel was running, I'd be playing Parx at the same time. But I wasn't doing a show back then. And this is going back about 10 years or so. Back then, that's when I was really getting sharp at handicapping, and I'd be covering the races. I started working on my own, so I was able to cover the races on some days from the early track, Parx, even if it's Finger Lakes. I was never crazy about Finger Lakes, whether it be Parx or one of the tracks that started early, Mahoning. And, I'd run right through Charlestown or Mountaineer, whatever track was running late at night, and multiple tracks. But yeah, I've played those. I like Santa Anita. I think sometimes their fields are on the small side. Gulfstream, they have some nice fields. Parx, I got to give it to Parx. They have some big fields, and they have that going for them. Let me see here. Just checking something. I got some other good news too. I was on the phone either with the internet phone and television. We got one of those triple packages, right? And I've been struggling with this modem. I've been struggling with the modem for a while. Unplugging the modem, trying to get speeds, coming on here and doing tests, speed tests, and like, Al, yeah, you're freezing up a little bit. You're freezing up. And I was just getting sick of it. And this is something I've been dealing with for a while, really, since we've had this provider. And it was always like hold my breath time when I'm going to go live on a show. Am I going to have speed? Am I going to be freezing on the show? And I have no doubt now that I am not freezing, right? This is probably one of the smoothest streams I've done yet. And what it was is I had to change I was on the phone with the technician, and it was a woman, and she gave me a hand. And I told her what the problem was. I thought maybe there's something wrong with the modem. Maybe I got to get somebody, or the router. I got to get somebody in here to fix the router or change the router. I tell, listen, some days I get high speed, some days I don't. Today I came on, I had high speed. I really didn't do anything different. And now suddenly I'm downloading at a speed. I did the internet speed test. Like, I've been struggling with the modem lately, coming in here doing tests sometimes. So I decided to finally call the technician. I said, listen, I was on here, I was getting 100 or whatever download, and over 100 download, 100 upload earlier in the day, and now I'm getting a download speed of about 30 and an upload speed of about 10. I said, but I didn't do anything differently. And I'm supposed to be getting over 100, right? So do you think maybe there's something done wrong with the modem? So they did a test with the modem, and they said, oh, this might fix it now. First, I did it with a robotic test, and they reset the modem. It's still the same exact problem. Then I did it with the tech. Still the same exact problem. I had to stay on. I was on the phone. I saw the time, 51 minutes. So she has me go into my network settings, check things out. And it turned out, now I'm on the Wi-Fi here. It goes, oh, maybe you're too far away from the router. I was like, no, because I'm getting tremendous speed sometimes, so it's not a distance problem. And then other times I'm getting almost no speed at all. Like when I started the show today, I had high speed. By the time the show was over, for all I know, I got to look at the replay. I might have been freezing up by the end of the show. And that's why I finally got sick and tired of it and decided to call. So they had me go into my network settings. So I go into the network settings. And it turned out that the 2.4G and the 5G had the same exact name. They didn't have separate names. So what was happening was the router, my computer, was choosing back and forth between 2.4G and 5G and battling itself. And then I was getting all these crazy freeze ups. And because the computer was going back and forth. So she had me separate it and go into my, the thing on the bottom right of the screen. And I went in there and clicked on that. And she said, now point it just at the 5G. So I did. And I said, all right, I'm going to do the internet speed test now. She goes, yeah, try that. And it's like, boom, the thing gets pinned all the way to the side. It's like over 200 megabytes per second. And it was like over 150 upload. I was like, I could have fixed this weeks ago. I should have just given them a call. So that problem was solved. And so I don't think I'm going to have any more freeze-up problems because we're cooking with gas right now. Let me just get to the chat. Yeah, everyone who's joining, I just want to give you a heads up. Tomorrow I'm going to be at Parx. Tomorrow is going to be at Parx. It came to me like within an hour after today's show. I was like, you know what? Gulfstream, we're getting some nutty results over there right now between the tapeta, the dirt, and the turf, and some. Anyway, I figured we're hot at Parx. Gulfstream I like Gulfstream. I love Gulfstream, but Parx Tomorrow has 11 races, and Gulfstream only has 9. And Parx, most of the horses they have a body of work at Parx. I believe those races, the real name of the game of this is to make money. Is to make money, and I believe there's a better opportunity to make money at a track where it's easier, or at least you have a better feel for who's out there, the contenders. You can at least compare them to each other, as opposed to Gulfstream, where it's more challenging. It's more challenging because you have Gulfstream, the championship meet. And what happens at that championship meet? You have trainers shipping horses in from all over the place. And on the tapeta surface, you have turf horses, some that never ran on the tapeta. So it's a question mark. You want to try, at least I do, I want to take as much of the gambling aspect out of the game as possible. Yeah, sure, I can pass on some races, the ones I don't feel comfortable with, like Gulfstream, and give my selections on the show, just like I always do, the best I can, as if I were playing the race. But I'd rather have a chance to win or feel comfortable or confident. And all the races are going to be on dirt. So even if it rains, they say there's only a 3% chance of rain tomorrow at Parx. So even if it rains, which it won't, most of the horses are going to stay in there because they still stay on the dirt. And a wet track should be no problem because you could tell which horses are good or have a history of running good on a wet track. And sometimes the public, the uninformed public, aren't aware of that. So they might Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened. It looked like we froze for a second there. What happened? Did we go black before? Was I off the screen for a second there? I'm just curious. Let me see. Spoke too soon for the freezing stuff. No. Now, that wasn't me this time. That was definitely something. That was definitely something else. Because I think that might have been a. You spoke too soon for the free. Okay, where are you? Okay, good night handicapping. Well, let me get in here. Let me catch up. Good night handicapping. Karen. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to try and get the picks in, at least keep up we'll try and get the picks in minutes after the race finishes. Let's see. Keep up the good work. We'll be waiting for your picks. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be at Parx tomorrow, Karan. I would not handicap for tonight for tomorrow racing. I want to see the scratches. I got to get prepared. I got to do it before the scratches. So, and that's the way it goes. But I hear you. Thanks, Sanji. Al, what did you study in school? Worked in computer programming. Computer programming. I went to school for that. I went back to school for that in 1990. So yeah, I did that. Computer programmer analyst. And I did that for 16 years. But yeah, but now racing and Anthony. Oh, thanks. Yeah. So yeah, we seem to be running fast. I would not handicap for tomorrow racing. I want to see scratches. I get the handicapping done well before the scratches are in. I hear you though, but definitely want to be finished. You're finished, right? You're done handicapping though before the first race. I take it, Curran. You don't want to go in there cold race to race. At least I don't, and it's not recommended. Do you bet Australian racing? I do. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Do I bet? I've bet it before, and you know what? And it's not a good move for me because I was betting it. I was playing the board. I haven't done it in a while. A few years ago, I was doing it sometimes at night, and for the most part, I'd see my bankroll start to diminish. So, I do it for fun, but after taking some hits, it's just not funny anymore. I don't know enough about Australian racing. I have no business playing the Australian races. Now, you play the Australian races, Steve. What do you do? Do you have PPs for Australia? What type of data do you use? International track tonight. Play international track tonight. You see, I have on FanDuel TV, and they're showing harness racing from Miami Valley. I never even heard of Miami Valley. Freezing up. Yeah, I like that. I got a kick out of that. I'm talking about how everything is cleared up, and all of a sudden I have the worst freeze up ever. I think that's the first time I ever saw the screen just go black. But I'm looking at Parx, a great card tomorrow. I can't complain. I can go to Gulfstream on Friday. Who else is running on Friday? Now you talk about other tracks. Is there a track running better races? Oaklawn's a better track, really. Oaklawn, this is the Oaklawn season. Who else is running on Friday? Aqueduct, I already looked at the card. The card stinks. I saw the second race has 5 entries, a 3 to 5 shot. One of the races, I think the first race or the second, one of the early races has the brother and sister jockeys in there, Jackie Davis and Dylan Davis. Let's see how many times the two brother and sister are racing together. Dylan on the 2 in the first and Jackie on the 3 in the first. Okay. And they have the other sister there running too, Katie Davis. Now get the second race. I'm just talking about it. Now Dylan Davis is on the 2 in the second race, but this time he has his other sister in the race, Katie Davis. She's on the 3. So Dylan is on the 2 in the first 2, and his sisters, different sisters, are on the 3 in the first and the second. Are you kidding me? In the third race, Dylan Davis is on the 2 again. The first 3 races, Dylan Davis on the 2. And no, Jackie Davis is on the 2 this time, and Dylan Davis is on the 4. So you got the brother and sister again. Switches back to the other sister in the third race. In the fourth race, we just have Dylan Davis. Okay, none of the sisters. In the fifth race, we have Dylan Davis on the 5 and Katie Davis on the 7. Now, if anyone's going to fix a race, do you think it would be maybe brother and sister, and they could keep a secret? Just saying. I don't think they're the type that would do that, but, if anyone could, I guess it would be siblings. In the 6th race, Dylan Davis, no sisters. In the 7th race, Dylan Davis again, no sisters. In the 8th race, that's the finale, Dylan Davis again. He might be on every single race, and I think 4 or 5 of the others he has his sisters in the race. I don't want a double handicap. I would like to see the scratches. Yeah, I see it. I understand that. The double handicapping sucks. And the thing is with that, by the time the scratches come out at Parx, that only really, the way I see it anyway, for me personally, I don't know how fast you handicap or what you're looking. You're a speed handicapper, okay. Because I'm thinking plays, I'm thinking whatever. I'm comfortable with it. And I don't have to double handicap, because how many times are there scratches in every single race? And the races today, there weren't too many scratches. And most of the time, the scratches really, they don't affect the outcome too much. But sometimes they do. When I was doing Aqueduct or Belmont or Saratoga, they do. It was a real pain in the ass. I was doing racing reports, writing up racing reports every day. And I had customers who bought these reports. And I would just do it for a single track every day. And I'd let them know in advance what track I'm covering. And I was doing Naira for the most part. And I was doing Parx. And a lot of people like Parx. I was surprised how many people bought the Parx report. But especially at Belmont and Saratoga, when you get into the spring, summer weather, it was a lot of double handicapping, Karam. And it was a pain in the ass. Because when it would rain, there would be so many changes. And then you have the main track only coming in. And it got to the point that I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that kind of double handicapping. That was a whole different animal breed of double handicapping. And I do it today. When I do these shows, I want to be prepared. and I want to have a feel for what I'm looking at. So I usually get started on the card. I'm not going to get started tonight. I did look over the entries, but I usually get started on the card in the early AM. Sometime around 5 in the morning or so, I get started handicapping the races. And I do that. I do a few races. I give it a little bit of a break and do a few races and come back. And before an hour before the scratches come in, I'm finished. I'm not doing it 5 hours straight. So then I get a feel for the races, and then I'll go to the scratches. And when they come in, and there might be a few races that I have to make an adjustment. So it really doesn't come into double handicapping. I'm not doing every single race over again. That would be insane. But who else? I'm not a big fan of harness racing. I'm not either. I'm not either. Some people are. Some people are. I've had some big harness hits, but they were pure luck. What happened was I was playing a couple of harness. I think it was Yonkers both a few times. I was way up from the thoroughbred racing, way ahead. So I was like, oh, let me bet box 5 horses for an exacta. And I threw the favorite in there. I threw some tremendous bombs in there. And I go back to the thoroughbred racing, and I forgot the Yonkers race was on. And I'm going in, and I'm moving around, and I put my bet in at the track, whatever track, night track was running that I was betting on. Then I hit enter, my thing went in, and all of a sudden my balance went up like $750. I was like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, holy crap, I hit a $700 exacta at Yonkers. And it was over 700. And that happened, and I had another one. That happened a few years ago, too. When was it? 2020 or 2021, whatever. Okay, 2021, early 2021, I did something similar and hit a $540 exacta at Yonkers again. But I have no idea, it was pure luck. It was pure luck. So, but no, I don't play the harness tracks. I am a speed handicapper. Okay, well, I would explain it, Karam. And yeah, and you do a hell of a job, tremendous job with your selections on the show. Very impressive. Vambo, I think this is the first time I've seen you. Welcome. How's it going? Thanks for joining us. Parx always has cheap races. I live in New Orleans. They're not that cheap, Vambo. Look at the purses there. They're above average. They're not a big track, but they're above average. I live in New Orleans, and the fairgrounds is the same. I love the fairgrounds. That's a great. The best races are at Oaklawn and Santa Anita. I'm not crazy about Santa Anita. The field sizes, Vambo. They're kind of lean. What very small fields, and they usually don't have many races on the card. But they have tremendous talent over in Santa Anita. I'll give them that. And Oaklawn has a premier meet. That's one of the big meets in the United States. I agree with you there. But Parx is not cheap races. I mean, Parx has above average horses. You want to talk cheap races? We'll go to a track like Mountaineer, where they have 7K purses and 4K claiming races. And have you played Coast to Coast? Oh, I see that. Shame it is a $1 bet, gets expensive fast. I haven't played it, Vambo. I see that. What do you think of that? Shame it is a $1 bet, gets expensive fast. How does that Coast to Coast work? I got to look that up. You don't have to explain it here. If you have a brief explanation, that would be great. You know what track I used to love? You talk about New Orleans. New Orleans, I'm in New York here. Track I really used to enjoy was Evangeline Downs. They used to have, about 10 years ago or so, they used to boast the biggest fields in the country. And every race was almost like the Kentucky Derby. We had what, how many? 17 horses, 18 horses each race? Or a small field would be 14. Evangeline Downs was great. I loved Evangeline Downs. I like Delta Downs. I think that's a fun track. So I like both those tracks. And but Evangeline Downs, what happened? Why are the field sizes shrunk so much? Coast to coast, I'm not sure how to coast. I see the coast to coast as a betting option. I'm not familiar with it. I got to check that out, Vambo. And thanks for reminding me about that. Yes, sir, money. Oh, you don't like too much of first-time starters. First-time starters, I rather have horses with a body of work. I know some players that are tremendous with first-time starters. That's not my bag. You know, I know what I'm strong in, and I know what I need work in, and I work there. But I could get around with the first-time starters. For the most part, first-time starters, I'll look at some of the lineage a little bit. And of course, I'll look at the trainers that win early, and and I look at the jockeys who do well with 2-year-olds. And so yeah, first time starters. My night love first time starting races. Yeah, Karan, I know a woman who is a tremendous first time starter player. She actually looks forward to races with first time starters. And one of the most successful players I know, if a race even has one first-time starter, now this is a winning player, he won't touch it. He won't play the race if it even has one first-time starter. He wants to know a little something about every single horse in the race. And this guy, he's one of the best there is. So everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own strength. Now I'm going back to Thursday. Now I see they are running at the fairgrounds. The only thing that troubles me about the fairgrounds is it seems like they get quite a bit of rain and their turf races. Now I'm looking at the fairgrounds. 8 races on Thursday. Now I don't like when I want to have at least 9 races on a card, but sometimes you got stuck with 8. Fairgrounds. Let's look at these fields. Remember Rosie Napravnik at the fairgrounds? What a great, the best woman jockey that I can recall. Race 1, 6 entries on dirt. Race 1, 6 entries on dirt, claiming 5K. Race 2, 1 and 16. Race 2, another dirt race, 6 entries. Purse 30,000, starter allowance. Race 4. Yeah, kind of similar to Parx. I would say Fairgrounds is a bigger track than Parx. Let's look that up. I'm going to bring something up right now, okay? And this will settle some of this, the discussion we're having once and for all. Who's the bigger track? Race 6 is on turf. I love fairgrounds racing. Here they got small fields here. Yes. Race 8 is on dirt. Here, I'm going to bring something up here right now, which some of you might find interesting. Well, we hear, yeah, I just came on here to give an announcement about doing Parx tomorrow. We're going to be at Parx tomorrow, and we got off on this. Let's see, racetrack purse size. All right, let's look at this. Racetrack by purse size. Let's talk about it. Okay, I think some of you might find this interesting. I'm going to bring this up right now on the screen so you can all see it. So there's no guesswork involved. Okay. Let's see if you can see this. Okay, here. Now, these are the tracks that are larger in size. So I'm going to scroll and we're going to see who the big tracks are and who the small tracks are. Is Fairgrounds the same as Parx? Is Parx a small track? Let's get right, let's see. Racetrack purses over 400,000. Now, this is for the past year. This is 2022 records. Aqueduct. Okay, for the whole year. Average daily purse, 597,000. Okay. Now, here, get this. Now, Aqueduct, when they see Aqueduct at the Big A, they had bigger purses because they had some big races. Those are the races that were run at Aqueduct while they're doing the work at Belmont. So Belmont is closed for a while right now. They're going to have the Belmont Stakes there this year, of course, but I don't know. I don't think racing is going to resume until perhaps the fall. And do you know what they're doing? One of the things, the construction they're doing at Belmont, they're adding an all-new Tapeta track. So now Belmont's going to turn into one of these tracks. It's almost like a dice roll, like Gulfstream Park. So Belmont's adding the Tapeta. The best thing about that is that, well, we'll probably see Chantel Sutherland there more. No, just kidding. But seriously, but we probably will see her in some races at Belmont that we normally don't. But the good thing about that is the races that get washed off the turf, you're not going to get as many scratches because the Tapeta is safe in the rain, or so they say. And those turf horses that would normally scratch would just move over to Tapeta, so we won't have the hell of like 3-4 horse fields when it rains in New York. Okay, let's go back. Let's see who the other big tracks are by purse. Churchill Downs. Look at this. Churchill Downs, average daily purse size, and the medium purse. Medium purse at Aqueduct, 55,000. Belmont, Aqueduct, when they held Belmont, 85,000. Belmont itself, 75,000. And that's only the limited meet, May through July, and probably boosted by the Belmont Stakes Day. Churchill Downs, average purse, 1.1. Wow. Average daily purse? That can't be correct. That can't be this high. 1 million in purses a day? Come on. I guess so. Colonial Downs. Now that's that short meet, July 11th to September 7th. That's a average purse 45,000. Del Mar, average 73,743. Ellis Park actually pretty big, 60,000. Keeneland, 1,890,000. Yeah, that's a big meet. And now the one with the biggest purses in the country, and Keeneland, the average purse is 100,000. Kentucky Downs, get this, average daily purse, 2.2 million. That talk about a tough meet. That Kentucky Downs is as tough as it gets. Monmouth, 499. Oaklawn. Okay, we talk about Oaklawn, 698,042. They run from December 9th to May 6th. Santa Anita, 653,000. Of course, Saratoga is one of the big ones. 1.2 million in purses a day, 95,000. Woodbine, 427,000. So 36. Those are the bigger tracks. We didn't see Parx yet. We didn't see Fairgrounds. Where are they going to show up? We're going to see Sanji is my girlfriend. Okay. Chantel. She used to go out with Mike Smith. Okay, now we're going to go to the medium tracks with daily purses of 200 to 399,000. Who are the middle of the road tracks? There's Fairgrounds, 377,000. Now, where is Parx? I want to see how Parx compares to Fairgrounds. Gulfstream, right there with Fairgrounds, 392,000. Average medium purse, 30,000. Fairgrounds, 28,000. They might as well be mirror images of each other as far as the talent and purses go. Now, their meet fairgrounds, they run November 18th through March 26th. So we got till March 26th for the fairgrounds, and the championship meet at Gulfstream, December 26th through April 2nd, Florida Derby. Who else? Hawthorne, just over 200,000, almost half the purse size of Gulfstream at fairgrounds. I'm still looking for Parx. What we've seen here so far is that Gulfstream and fairgrounds are just about equal, just about exactly equal. Parx, where's Parx fit in? Parx is right there with them. So you're kind of right there, Bamboo. Same thing. I think I mentioned this once before. I know you did. Parx, fairground is the same. Okay. And you called it, Bamboo, 100% on the money here. Because look at Parx, 388,000 compared to Gulfstream, 392, and fairgrounds, 377. Smack dab in the middle, and going right smack dab in the middle again. The medium purse at fairgrounds, 28. At Gulfstream, 30. Parx, 29. Those three tracks, talent-wise, they might as well be clones of each other. Now they're in the second tier. You know, the first tier, we saw those, you know, the Kentucky Downs, the Santa Anitas, and all those. Now these are the second tier tracks. Pimlico. Pimlico is not that far above. Now Parx, you wonder about Parx. They have some stakes races, the Pennsylvania Derby. You know, they got some big stakes days. They have some stakes races there. They have some decent talent, just like Gulfstream has talent, and just like Fairgrounds has talent. I think Fairgrounds has a big race coming up, some big ones. Pimlico, a little bit more, 543,000, 37.5. So Pimlico actually cut above those. Then you got your Remington. What surprised me is I think Delta Downs. Yeah, Delta Downs, they're a little below, 233K and 19,000 for medium purse. But yeah, Gulfstream, Fairgrounds, and Parx, they're right there. And Los Alamitos is right there with both of them too, 27.5 medium purse. I don't like that track. That's one track I can honestly say I haven't really played. Remington, Tampa Bay Downs. Tampa Bay Downs, guess what, folks? It's less than Parx, Fairgrounds, and Gulfstream. 17,000 medium purse, 202,000 daily purses. Thistledown. Turfway Park. Turfway Park. Might as well be Parx, might as well be Gulfstream, Fairgrounds, 29,000 medium purse, 346 daily purse. So Turfway Park, so that's one of the better tracks too. And they're going to be racing there from January 1st, which they started New Year's Day, up until April 1st. And then they're going to go on a hiatus for a while until whatever. Then we'll get to the smaller tracks, and let's wrap this stuff up. I'll get to the smaller tracks. The purses, daily purses, 100 to 199,000. Who are these tiny tracks? Emerald Downs, 12,000. Daily purses, 135K. Do you see the difference? I would imagine Mountaineers in this group. Let's see, Belterra Park, 14,000 medium purse. Evangeline Downs, 14,000. So Delta Downs is definitely a cut up from Evangeline. And Evangeline, they'll be racing April 6th to August 27th. Finger Lakes, only 17.6 medium purse. Fort Erie, 12,000 medium purse. Mahoning. Now their purse is 21.5, which is, but their daily purse is 190,000. So they're a little lower. And then look at Mountaineer. That may just ended. $10,780 is the average purse. $10,780. 105,000 for the day. I mean, we're talking bottom of the barrel, folks. Penn National, 17,163. All right, they're a little higher, 17,000. Sunland Park, 15,000 average purse, 165 daily purse. Turf Paradise, 15,000, just about the same as Sunland, 135. Now we're going to get to the real nitty gritty. We're going to get to the real nitty gritty of the small tracks. Arapahoe Park, 10,000 medium purse, 76,000 daily purse. And they race from July 3rd through October 4th. Fauner Park, I don't think I've ever played Fauner Park. I've never played Arapahoe Park. That was once a home park of a friend of mine, who I guess had a lot of fun there and had some big days. FanDuel Sportsbook and horse racing, I don't know what the hell that is. Fauner Park, I never played. I never played any of these tracks. Fort Erie. Okay, so we see it. We see who the big tracks are. Aqueduct, Belmont, Churchill, Colonial Downs, Del Mar, Ellis Park. I'm surprised by Ellis Park. I never really played Ellis Park. I got to be honest. It has a meet that runs July 8th to August 28th. Looks like you have some nice purses. Average purse 60. Keeneland, this is just the wrap. Keeneland is a big one. Kentucky Downs. Monmouth Park is considered large. Oak Lawn, of course, large. Santa Anita, large. Saratoga and Woodbine. Those are the larger ones. And the ones that are cut below, you got Canterbury, Charlestown, Delaware, Delta Downs. Delaware has some decent purses. They race from May 25th through November 5th. Delta Downs, medium, middle of the road. Fairgrounds. Now, Fairgrounds is upper medium because they just missed the top tier with the 400. And now 377K, and they're in a range here of 200 to 399K. So it's really not fair. They're borderline that they could be in the upper tier Fairgrounds. The same can be said for Gulfstream, 392K, and the same could be said for Parx. And the same could be said for Laurel. Actually, Laurel, I'm looking at this, Laurel is actually, they have higher purses than Parx, Gulfstream, and Fairgrounds. 37K is the average purse. But their average daily purse is about the same. Okay, so we saw that. Pimlico, Prairie Meadow, Tampa Bay is on the low side, low spectrum. Almost half the daily purse of Parx, etc. Okay, I think we beat that up. Turfway Park is another bigger one. Turfway Park is right there with Parx and Fairgrounds, Gulfstream, etc. There we have it. Baby Gunning Race 9, Parx, I like. Al, Wind Without a Knife. Wind Without a Knife, what a great name. Welcome. It comes right in here giving us a selection. And you know what? Wind Without a Knife. I'm going to write it down right here. I haven't handicapped it yet. Good man. It looks like you're out there already. Baby Gunning. You know what? Maybe, why don't I take a look at Baby Gunning right now, Race 9 Parx. I didn't download the PPs yet. I'm going to download it right now, and I'm going to look at Wind Without a Knife selection, Baby Gunning and Race 9, and I'll tell you what I think about it right now. Didn't expect to do any handicapping tonight, but here we go. Let me get this rolling. Wind Without a Knife. All righty. Race 9. 11 races tomorrow at Parx. How can I not go back to Parx? How many times did Jamie Ness do nothing today on really low-priced horses? But watch him. When his horse doesn't figure, he's right there every time. Or when it's first off the claim. Parx, okay. Getting there. Hang on. Now, okay. Wind without a knife. Okay. January 18th. Okay. I didn't expect to do handicapping tonight, but we'll do it right here, right now. I don't know the odds. I'll take a look first at looking at the odds. All right. Race 9. Let's look at the pace. Wow. I'm looking at 11. I saw 11, Positively Awesome. It just popped up on the screen there. That's the 11th race, by the way. Race 9. Baby Gundon, right, and number 1 on the inside. I'm looking through these. I'm scrolling through these quickly just to get an eye. Okay, I'm kind of a speed handicapper too. I spot patterns in that. So sometimes you wonder how I come up with this stuff, and I'm shooting all over the place. But yeah, I think the 2 and the 6 are the pace of that race. Cloud Chaser. Okay, Baby Gundon, let's go. Race 9. 9 entries, 1 mile on dirt, allowance optional claim. Race 9. What do we got? Okay, you got Michael Pino. What happened in that last race? Off the pace inside, between 1/4. Got stuck running between. So it comes back at this level. Very strange, because all the races before this are good enough. Okay, so it gets back in Michael Pino's hands. With Michael Pino, this one had won in the last four races before the claim. With Michael Pino, who now has Baby Gundon back, had a second, a first, and a second. Okay, so far so good. 2 looks interesting, Jamie Ness. I mean, it depends on the weather here. Did they ever face each other? Cashing big checks. I'm looking at the 2. That's going to be a tough one too. Cashing big checks. Here's the thing about that one. It runs. It's good running at Delaware, and its last race it did good running at Laurel. But when it came to Parx, 2 back, it was horrible. But you got Jamie Ness, and you got Ruben Silvera, and you got Michael Sanchez riding the 1. So far, so good. You know, maybe this one, Baby Gundon, was in the wrong hands. Let me see who the let me see what the opening odds are here. Before I go to the opening odds, let's go down the line. Solomon Oath, number 4. He had a decent race on a sealed track. Now, Clout Chaser, number 6. That one might be dangerous. It has a few races here fast enough to win. The last race was a good one. Better than it looked. Better than it looked. It was running wide, okay? And it was on a wet track, so that's a deceiving 5th. It was running 4 wide. So it was losing a lot of ground. Race 7, number 7, 8. Ness has another entry. He's 9. I don't like it. Solomon Oath, number 4. What about that Cloud Chaser, number 6? Bad Trainer, St. Louis, Uriah, St. Louis, 5% trainer. 2,200 races. How is it? What is? But the entry is pretty good. It just doesn't like to win. But Cloud Chaser. Let me look at the pace again a little bit. All right, now we're going to get off the handicapping in a second. Cloud Chaser probably will be part, maybe the pace, but cashing big checks. Now, here's the thing. The thing about Baby Gundan is, goes back to Pinot. Maybe the 2 and the 6 hook up in a duel, and it opens the door for Baby Gundan. Baby Gundan, if Baby Gundan goes back to the Baby Gundan of what is that date? Anyone playing the harness? Where's this? Dover Downs. If Baby Gundan goes back to the Baby Gundan of November 16th, or even December 13th, goes back to the good days of Michael Pinot, likely wins and benefits from the pace. Benefits from the pace because number 2 didn't seem to like Parx at all. And number 6 did its best running on a wet track, unless number 6 goes back to the race back in August at 7 furlongs. And I got to take a look at one more thing. I want to just see the opening odds. I'm curious what the odds are in this race. Tomorrow, Parx. I'm going to guess the opening odds. I'm going to guess Ness is favored in that race, the 2. Followed by the 1 and 6. 1 is probably the second favorite. 6 is probably the third favorite. Let's look at the odds. Yep. Ness is the favorite, 8-5. Baby Gundan, 4-1. I think if I had to pick one, I probably would pick Baby Gundan. And it's and this is an allowance optional claim, and that one is the only one in for the claim. And what I do like is the 6 Cloud Chaser opens at 8-1. And 8-1, I'll tell you, if you were going to reach for an upset horse, put on top, 6. I just want to look at the 9 Shopper. That might be a weak one. Yeah. Yeah, 9. 9 is I know it's a JS, but 9 is a vulnerable third choice. So that opens the door for longer ones. And Cloud Chaser has pace, so should be able to sneak in there, maybe steal second, and maybe even win first. All right, baby, win without a knife. Let me get rid of this guy here. Didn't expect to be looking at races tonight, but that's that. So I just wanted to give everybody that news. Tomorrow we're going to be at Parx. And I already looked at the 9th race. I actually not done with it, but I see the ones that I like best in that race. But I'm going to look closer, and then I'll write them down. I'll make my notes, and I'll be ready for when the show starts, and I'll be ready for when the scratches come in and make the adjustments if I have to. because all it takes is one scratch, and maybe it's a speed horse. Changes the whole complexion of the race. There was one horse today that wound up being the speed, and with the scratch looked like the lone speed and still did absolutely nothing. What was it? This is in one of the earlier races. It was a 2-horse. It was a maiden race. And who won that race? It was a 5. Those of you watching the show, the 5 won. It was a first-time starter. It was the finishing order, I think, was 5-1, 5-1-2. First-time starter ended up winning that race. I'll try to give you some of tomorrow's selections. Well, Karan, yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll hear them on the show. So, you know, I'll be doing the handicapping in that, and looking forward to hearing your selections tomorrow on the show. That'll be great. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, try to give you some tomorrow's selections. Race 1, 5671. What is the first race? Race 1 is a, thanks, Karan. You make it interesting. The picks coming in. Karan, I'm going to give you the picks for that race after the race. 5 is definitely 5. 6, wow, 6 runs its race. It's raced 4 or 5 back. Race over. I don't know what the odds are. 5 looks solid. 7. I mean, 1 is pointing towards 1. It seems it's coming back in 9 days. The trainer or race under 11 days, 7%. But it does have a race in September that fits. Curlin's Thrill has a few races in there that fits this. 3. Bad Trainer. All right. But what is that? That's race 1. Let me just look at something on what that is. 1 mile on 75 claim at 5K. Excuse me. I think I'm going to have a little dessert or something, and I'm going to get some rest. Let me see. 4 looks like the pace, likes to go to the front all the time. How about Graisley? Number 4. Just curious what type of. And 4 runs for Explodes. Did have a good race 3 back, and it does have a good jockey. I'm curious what the odds are of this race. Parx Racing, race 1. I would think that the 6 is favored, right? 6 followed by 7, maybe. I don't know. 7, not 7. 6 followed by 5. Ness always takes money. Yeah, I'm a little curious what's up with the 7 these last 3 races. Okay, the 1 was on and off track. Lag far behind. See, I'm going kind of quick here. That's a 10-year-old, and I got to look at this closer tomorrow because I could take into consideration the class levels. 5 is dropping. What about 6? Even 6 is dropping a little. And 6 is coming from Penn. It gets back to Parx where it runs well. I would have to say 5 and 6 are the 2 favorites. The 3 might be dangerous. I don't know. The race 2 back by the 3 fits. It was running at the 15K level. I guess 5.6 maybe. I don't know. Let me just look. 5.6 or 5 is 5-2. That's the favorite. 6 is 7-2. What gets me is that maybe there's a vulnerable favorite in the 2, Melania's Dream. Melina's Dream. All right. Big class drop. It has nothing on these others. It definitely has nothing on the 5. It really, the last race was horrible. Good jockey, though. Good trainer, 23% dirt trainer, Zerpa. So I get at Parx. No real Parx. This is a shipper from Laurel. We'll have to look at it tomorrow. Food for thought. This is thanks for sharing. Thanks. I guess you and let's see, Wind Without a Knife. Thanks, Wind Without a Knife, for getting your picks in early. I mean, real early, the night before. Gonna have to bring that up on tomorrow's show. Karan, thanks again. Hey, 5671. Excellent. Some cheesecake and snooze. Yeah, I'll figure something out. All right. Here, the main gist of this is that we're going to be doing a Parx show tomorrow. We're not going to be doing Gulfstream. We'll go to Gulfstream on Thursday. So have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining me here. It was fun, an unexpected convo, and talking racetrack size and purses and handicapping. And I don't know why they're not having the races, thoroughbred racing at night. I could only think that Martin Luther King Day is why. So maybe some of those tracks were open for that day. Who knows? Okay, so I'll get the schedule out there for Parx tomorrow. I'm going to schedule the show. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us, being on the show and being a part of this, as always. All the best. Have a good night, everybody. Parx tomorrow.